Grief is a living thing. The day I lost my husband, I would wish that he was there with me. Excuse me. Hi everyone. Welcome once again. How do you contend with grief and with the loss of a loved one? There are so many speculations and advice how you're supposed to manage it, how you're supposed to go about it. Some say ignore it, pay no attention. Others say wallow in it, sink into depression. Just let it just hover over you and don't try to shake out of the shackles of grief and of loss. Some people say cry your eyes out. Just allow yourself to constantly be in a state of emotional outburst and mood swings. Some others say become numb. Don't feel the pain. Be strong. All of these suggestions have the positives and the negatives. And as someone who has just recently suffered the loss of a loved one, I can tell you that it comes with a whirlwind of emotions. What do you do when there are reasons to be joyful, but you cannot entertain that joy, you cannot embrace that joy, you cannot participate or partake in that joy because you still have this ache in your heart that just will not budge? Some of the worst things that you can ever tell someone who has just lost someone or who has just experienced grief is to say things like, God allowed it to happen. It was God's will. I'm like, when I heard that, I'm like, what? God. So I'm supposed to now feel angry with God because God allowed for my dear, 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 dear husband to be taken from me. It was God's will. I told people in that moment of grief, I said, don't say that. Please don't say that to me. Don't tell me that the same God that blessed me with this man allowed for him to be taken from me. I just cannot contend that this loving God, this powerful God, this all-knowing God, all-seeing God, kind-hearted God, the one that said that the blessings of the Lord added no sorrow to it, would give me this man and then allow him to be taken or take him himself. I just did not want that extra beat of weight in my head while I was still contending with the loss that I have just suffered. Or another one that you can hear, which is absolutely not the right thing to tell anybody, is, I know how you feel. No, I know maybe you also have suffered loss, but every relationship is different. One father's relationship with his daughter, no matter how loving it is, it's not the same thing with another father and his daughter. Every relationship is subjective. There's a lot of nuances associated with it. Every relationship is different, so you don't know how I feel. You can have an idea based on perhaps your own experience of loss, but you cannot say that you know how I feel because you are not on the inside of me. You don't know the bond that we shared, the hopes that we had, the dreams that we shared together. You don't know how I feel. You can have an idea, but you cannot fully know how I feel. It's not possible because you were not in my shoes. You were not me. And you were not my husband. We shared something different. We had a connection. We had a bond that perhaps you and your loved one, maybe as a spouse, maybe had or did not have. But we were unique in our way of loving each other and appreciating each other and being together. It was different, unique to the both of us. So grief is subjective because relationships are no two relationships are the same. With all of the things that I heard while I was going through my stages of grief, One thing that I heard along the way on how to cope and how to manage with this grief. There's so many ways that you can deal with grief. Some are healthy and some are not healthy. Some wallow into all manner of addictions, whether it's by substance, liquor, or powder. Some wallow into eggs, sexual activities, trying to numb that pain and to run away from that pain and that feeling of emptiness. They want to hold on to something unhealthy just so that they can numb the pain, forget the pain, and ease on down the road into an unhealthy lifestyle. Some people pick up habits of overeating and they gain more weight than is necessary and compromise their health. A lot of people go into different ways. Some go into overspending. Perhaps while you were together with your partner, you were saving up because you had these dreams and things you wanted to do, places you wanted to go. You were just waiting for the right moment, and then boom, one minute the person was there, the next minute they were gone. And you're like, what was it all for? What was it all for? I might as well just spend all this money. And then you go from financial responsibility or financial maturity and discipline to becoming an overspender because you want to do a complete 360 from what you and your partner did because you felt like it was all for nothing. But there are just some quick steps that I just want to tell you how perhaps I learned to cope with my grief that could be beneficial to you, because like I said, you are you and no two people grieve the same way. The very first thing perhaps that I want to share with you is one of the very important quotes from Tyler Perry. He said, grief is a living thing.
No. Grief is a very living thing. It visits at random. You can't schedule it. You can't. I tried to work it away. I tried to drink it away. I booked myself like crazy, and all it did was wait for me to finish. So when it shows up, however it shows up, let it show.
It comes at inopportune moments. It creeps up on you when you least expect it. You cannot drink it away. You cannot overwork yourself and think that it will never come. If you keep doing it and doing it, it's waiting for you at the other end of all of that life that you are living, and it will knock you off your feet much more than it would have if you had just taken out time to acknowledge it. And that takes me to my very first number one advice that I can have for you is be with your grief. Acknowledge it. Don't deny it. Don't wish it away. Don't pray it away. Don't speak in tongues away with it. Don't overwork yourself. Acknowledge that you are feeling what you are feeling. A psychologist told me, give the grief time to express itself, especially if it's in a safe environment. If it's not in a safe environment, or if it's in a workspace, you need to allow yourself moments. You can talk to yourself. I had to talk to myself a lot of times and say, I know what you're feeling. I know you're hurting. I know you're in pain. I know you want to express yourself, but just give me a moment. I will let you do that. Just let me finish this thing that I am doing right now, and I'll come back to you and allow you to express yourself. You must take time to cry, to wail, to acknowledge the pain, the absence of this dear one, like I missed my husband. Because sometimes it creeps up on me when I'm in the train. I'm just riding, I'm lost in my thoughts, and then the tears come running down my face. Or I could hear somebody laughing or somebody walking a certain way, and it could just remind me of my husband. And I could be walking on the street, maybe places that we went to together, and it would just come. I would wish that he was there with me. Allow it. Allow yourself to feel that pain. Allow yourself to feel that loss, to acknowledge that loss. It is part of the process. Because grief is a wave of very complex emotions. 1 minute thoughts of this person makes you smile. Now I don't look with my side eye to people when they're alone and they're talking to themselves, because sometimes I have had bursts of laughter, just remembering maybe a moment of joy and laughter with my husband. Or at times I felt like he was right there and I needed to talk to him. How could you leave me? Why didn't you fight? Why did you leave me? I still have those questions. I still miss him. Partner with your grief. Don't fight your grief. Excuse me. Partner with your grief. Don't fight your grief. Take moments to. Your grief wants to express itself. You need to allow it to do that. You need to give yourself compassion and be tolerant with yourself. Be patient with yourself. I'm 6 months in and I'm still like this, emotional. Be compassionate with yourself. This thing that you went through was a big deal. It was no kid's play. It was serious stuff. And a lot of people, not everyone comes back from it. A lot of people lose their minds. This thing that you're going through deserves you to be gentle with yourself while you were walking through the process and feeling the things that you were feeling, and those wave of emotions. You miss his physical presence, or their physical presence, or their touch, or the intimate moments, the smell that they had, the jokes that you shared, the things that you wanted to do. Be compassionate with yourself that you no longer have that. And all that you were left with are memories of a life that you thought you were going to have together. You need to seek and to receive support. That's the next step. I can't tell you how important that support structure was to me. At times I could just be talking to myself out loud, like I lost my mind. And I had a friend with me. She was just an amazing person who would tap me back and be like, hey, eat your food. I would be spoon in hand and my mind would go somewhere else. I would not be here anymore. I would be thinking, how could this thing be? How could it be me, the chief comforter, the one who always had words of comfort to give other people that are going through things? I'm the one who needs it now. And I didn't know how to receive it. But I had someone with me who would shake me out of my moments of deep thought and made sure that I ate well and I took care of this body, because you need to take care of your body. Sometimes in moments of grief, you don't take care of this body and you end up compromising. We end up compromising our health. Made sure that I ate, made sure that I slept. One time we went shopping and something just came. I ran out of the mall. I went behind a banner, like the one they use for advertisement. It was just like on the floor. I went behind the thing and I just fell to the floor and I wailed and I screamed. I yelled and I wept. I wept. And she came out and held my hand. And she said, you cannot keep doing this to yourself. Another step that you can take while you're going through this process, listen to your body. If your body doesn't want to do stuff, Don't make it do it. The body needs for you to take a break. Remember that there is a mind-body relationship. It's called the psychosomatic effect. The things that you think about, your psychological state of mind also affects your body. It affects your digestion, affects your filtration process, affects a whole lot of things. Sometimes you could suffer bloating or indigestion or palpitations in your heart, or respiratory insufficiency. You're not breathing well. You're shallow breathing. That's why one of the steps that you take when you're grieving, when you're trying to deal and cope with grief, is to take deep, full chested breaths. Because you could be shallow breathing. You're not filling your lungs to its capacity with the amount of oxygen that it needs to really function, and you have bouts of headaches. What happens in the mind affects what happens in the body. Another step is to slowly reconnect with your loved one. Understand that they haven't completely left you. They just transitioned from a physical state to a spiritual state, depending on what you believe. But that's what I believe. My husband might not be physically here with me today, but I feel him. I know he's watching over me, because he always did watch over me. Didn't want me to bother, didn't want me to go through stuff. There's one of the things I used to be angry about, because I had my moments of anger. I'd be like, if you didn't want me to do this, why did you leave? So, but I know he's watching over me. So I need to find ways slowly to reconnect. Now I'm able to look at pictures, listen to his voice messages on WhatsApp, the ones that we shared together. Watch a few videos that we had. I wish I did more videos. But when you not expect some things to happen, you live in the moment. Now I look at pictures, I listen to voice messages, I read SMSs, videos, slowly. Sometimes I still can't watch a movie of intimate partners who lost someone, or just grief in general. I can't. I was watching a movie where it got to the part where they were just two people and they were in love and they just found each other and they were just trying to build this life together, and then all of a sudden, boom, she was gone. I couldn't. I had to just shut the thing down. I couldn't. It took me to a place where I was trying to get out of. So I still have these moments. I still have places where I struggle, areas where I still struggle. I also have guilt trips. This person is not here with me anymore. So when Christmas came along the way and everybody was doing Merry Christmas, I'm like, how merry should I be? My husband is not here with me. It's not like he traveled to some place where he's going to be back. I'm never going to physically see him again. Or when people rolled in the new year, Happy New Year, I'm like, what's there to be happy about? January 2024, when we did the crossover service, I was praying over my husband. We were praying together. I was putting oil on his feet and on his forehead like the pastor had instructed, and speaking into 2024, all of the things that we wanted to do, all of the things that we wanted to achieve, all of our goals and dreams and ambitions, and how God was just going to take him over. And then the middle of that year, 2024, he was gone. And now it's another year, and I have to say those things again and still believe them. Grief tests your faith. It tests your faith. This same God that I called on December 31st, like January 1st, I got to call on him again. December 31st, 2024, and January 1st, 2025. I got to call on him again. Grief tests your faith. And so I still walk on my faith, and I tell God, help me. And I have to be honest with God. I was mad with God, and I told God, God, I'm not happy with you. But I know that at the end of it all, your plans for me will come to pass. You must always end those moments of doubt and fear and unknowing with a word of prayer and faith over your statements, because those words are powerful. So I still struggle with guilt. How happy should I be? When I go to a party, should I even go to anybody's birthday party, like a birthday party or celebration of some sort, and then the music is playing, and normally it will be music that I would just get up and dance to? Should I be dancing? Am I being am I walking away from my husband? Am I moving on too quickly? How quickly is too quickly? If I have a good time, am I compromising the memory of my husband? All of those feelings I struggle with on a daily basis. Have I fully conquered it all? No. I'm 6 months in. It took me this long to share this with you. I haven't even talked about how it all happened. I'm going to do that in another video. It took me this long to get here. I've had my struggles and my pains and my feelings of loneliness and an aching heart and wanting my husband back with me. Not just missing his physical presence. That's one thing you must know about grief. It's not just missing the physical presence. It's also all of the dreams and hopes that were shattered when this person was taken from you. So, I will not say that I know how you feel if you'd suffered loss in the past year or early this year, but I can only tell you that I have an idea of what you might be going through, because I'm going through it and I'm still not healed. I'm healing, but I'm not fully healed. I'm still grieving. I'll see you in another video. Take good care and be strong.